What if I told you that Micheal Jackson is still alive? Would you believe me? Okay, I don't even think I'd believe myself. But there is a group of people online who actually believe this. A while back, I made a video about mysterious comments under YouTube videos. In that video, I was going to include this topic, but as I dug into this rabbit hole, it became way too big to ignore, and I needed to make a video on its own. I was sent this by a viewer, and that's the only reason I know about it, and I still think it's pretty not well known. With all that being said, let's dive down this weird and obscure rabbit hole. Jack Crooner is a musical artist who covers many songs from back in the day. He has some originals, but mostly he's covering songs. Specifically, he covers a lot of Micheal Jackson. I'm going to show you a clip of one of his songs, although it will be copyrighted, so I'm just going to show you a small little portion with audio.
I'm still all alone. How could this be?
That was a little snippet from the song You're Not Alone. Originally by Micheal Jackson, this is being covered by Jack Crooner. It was posted 6 years ago on his YouTube channel, and you can see that it hasn't gotten that many views. This is when stuff starts to get a little bit strange. If we turn to the comments, we can see what some of the commenters are saying. You will see a common theme if you go to the comment sections of most of his videos. A lot of the comments read something like this. I came here to see and hear for myself. The voice, not so much, but the eyes. Those eyes make me wonder if it's you, MJJ. I am so grateful that you are still here, and secondly, thank you. Your music has been a blessing. I truly mourned your passing. Hit me hard, like a brother had died. But this sweet glimmer of hope, sung this way, is quite different. But I thank you. Bless you. Wow. I think now also that it's a hint from MJ. I miss him so much. His eyes, his love, his smile. It keeps touching my heart, even after so many years. I have to cry again and again, even now while writing. I love you, MJ. A big kiss from Germany. It's okay, Micheal. We'll always be here with you. Because we love you, you are not alone. It's pretty clear just scrolling through the comments that most of these people seem to think that this is Micheal Jackson. They believe that Micheal Jackson never died and that this guy is actually Micheal Jackson in disguise. He doesn't even look or sound anything like Micheal Jackson. And even somebody in the comments had to ask, why do you guys think that this is Micheal Jackson? And the commenter replies with, because MJ wore a disguise similar to this in a music video, and he's known for wearing disguises, and I don't really think he's dead. And this guy is supposedly a friend of the Jackson family, and has been seen hanging out with Micheal Jackson's kids. Also, his vocals and his accent are obviously completely fake if you listen very carefully. Sometimes you can hear a bit of Micheal's real voice. Now, I'm not the biggest Micheal Jackson fan, but I did go through some of his videos, listen to some of his music, and I never saw Micheal Jackson using a disguise like this. The commenter also pointed out that the accent that he's using is obviously fake. There's a video on his channel where he's only speaking, and I think it is pretty obvious that the accent is fake.
Exceptional film that demands a second viewing to truly appreciate its depth and complexity. After initially doubting my positive review due to the barrage of negative feedback, a second trip to the cinema solidified my admiration for this cinematic gem.
We also see the commenter say that this guy is a friend of the Jackson family, and this can be confirmed by looking at videos where he is indeed hanging out with Micheal Jackson's kids.
You are part of my life. Every time I feel like I cannot read anymore, I just look up and think that there is someone special somewhere who inspires me most. I keep on going and trying to accentuate every positive in my life. I love you forever, and I'm proud to say that.
I find this video really strange because Jack Crooner is not all that famous, as we'll discuss in a moment. But also when Jack Crooner walks over to Micheal Jackson's son and looks at the camera, you can tell how weirdly similar they look. They have similar smiles, similar eye structure, Everything looks kind of similar, and when Jack Crooner has his eyes open, they almost look like Michael Jackson's son's eyes. As we look at Jack Crooner's channel, we can see it's titled Comedy Channel Live, and he doesn't get that many views. He also doesn't have that many subscribers. Hey, it's me from the future here, and it seems that Jack Crooner has changed the name of his channel and the banner of his channel, so this entire part's kind of defunct, but oh well. These factors are strange, that he gets to hang out with Michael Jackson's kids, even though he isn't even that famous of a person. If you Google his name, nothing will immediately stand out as this guy is famous. Also, I just find it bizarre that the name of his channel is Comedy Channel Live. This has nothing to do with singing or making songs at all. Is he trying to indicate that this is all just one big joke? It gets even stranger when we look at one of the videos on his channel titled Jack and Mike. On this video, he has a Facebook page that is no longer in existence. The entire thing is just here to say that Jack is Mike, and this is posted directly on his channel. Of course, this fed the people who already believe that he is Michael Jackson. The sentiment under this video is basically that this video only exists so that he is telling his fans, I am Michael Jackson, and you can still follow me here. Something about this seems a little bit too convenient to me, but we'll discuss that later on. Next, let's discuss where he's buried. Forest Lawn Memorial is a place that many celebrities are born, and this is where Michael Jackson was said to have his private service when he died. However, the many people who think Michael Jackson is still alive believe that this place is lying about Michael Jackson being there at all.
Is empty, which is what I've been telling you guys for years, that the crypt is empty and nobody's there. But guess what? When I went to the information booth to get into Forest Lawn, I asked the lady, because I know he's not buried here because there's no name and he's never been listed in the database as being buried here, and they always say he's not buried here. But this time I said, where's Michael Jackson buried? She said, oh, I can't tell you that. I can't say anything about Michael Jackson. I said, because he's not buried here. She said, of course, kind of in a ambiguous way. And then when I said, you know he's not buried here, she says, I'm not allowed to say anything about Michael Jackson. Okay, so Forest Lawn will not admit that Michael Jackson is buried here. They're not allowed to talk about Michael Jackson. They're not allowed to speak about Michael Jackson because he's not buried here. The estate paid almost $600,000 for a crypt inside Holy Terrace. Right? And they paid for every single employee to take the day off, and they rented the entire Forest Lawn facility. And Forest Lawn is open for rent. You know, you can rent out the whole place. You can rent out for weddings. You can rent out for events. So Forest Lawn is a place where you can rent out the facility.
I find this lady to be somewhat wrong in her findings. Well, I mean, she was actually there. She can tell us what she wants. There are many YouTube videos you can go check out where people are visiting Michael Jackson's grave, like this one. This is one of the many videos online where people go to Forest Lawn directly to Michael Jackson's grave, and you can see everything is on display there, nothing weird about it. Also, here's a close-up photo of one of the pictures of his tomb. So there is one main person that I find that is really trying to push this narrative. His name is Batu, as far as I am concerned, because that is how he's brought up in these live streams that Jack Crooner has. He seems to be the leader of this movement, finding little things to pick on about how Jack Crooner is Michael Jackson. And throughout all of this, Jack Crooner consistently says that Batu is right. Batu has an Instagram page and a YouTube page about believing Michael Jackson is alive. In this post on Instagram, he talks about how Jack Crooner is pulling his cheek to prove that he is not Michael Jackson, but it actually proves that he is wearing a mask. He claims that Jack Crooner's intention is to let everybody know he is Michael Jackson, without flat out admitting it.
Jack Crooner, in order to prove to those who believe he is Michael Jackson that he isn't wearing a mask, pulls his cheek But in doing so, he ends up proving that he indeed has a mask on his cheek. Maybe he's making these mistakes to show his fans that he's alive. What do you think? Watch the video of him pinching his cheek one more time. He actually tried to prove that his cheek was an elastic mask when he was trying to prove he was not Michael. Have you noticed?
Now, I could kind of believe what he is saying here. I guess it's somewhat convincing. But in reality, most people's skin would do that at a certain age, as your skin becomes looser on your body. There's a playlist created by Batu on YouTube where he talks to Jack Crooner and states that it is Michael Jackson. These live streams are just bizarre, and nothing ever seems to happen in them. I've watched all of them and I can't really make out what his point is here or how he's proving he's Michael Jackson. Here's a little clip of one of his live streams. It's so bizarre.
I want you Well, we're going to go live to Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul, Turkey, to Batu. Batu is a great fan. He makes great videos.
The fact that Jack Crooner is calling out Batu by name and saying that he makes great videos tells me that Jack Crooner is trying to tell people he is Michael Jackson. Along with all the other evidence on his channel, it sure does seem like Jack Crooner is trying to be Michael Jackson. Now, if you're like me and you don't really believe that this is Michael Jackson, I don't fall for any of that. I can't find a reason why this guy would do this. Some people say that it's for clout, and I could see that, but this guy does not get that much clout. Also, he's able to hang out with Michael Jackson's kids. I'm not exactly sure how that works, and he's sponsored by luxury clothes brands, when he isn't even that famous. These things make it really, really strange. Now, the only reasons I could find that Michael Jackson himself would actually do this if he was still alive is because of how bad his reputation was. Because we all know how bad his reputation was before he died. He could have faked his death, and is now wearing a fake disguise in order to live his life with less fame and less criticism. I don't believe any of that, though, and I think Jack Crooner is really just capitalizing on the fact that people think he's Michael Jackson for whatever reason. It's not getting him a lot of fans or followers, but he is still trying to capitalize on that, and he has some weird connection to the Michael Jackson family. Whatever that connection is, I'm not sure. But it seems like he is utilizing all of these conspiracy theories to fuel more fame for him. This is definitely one of the most fun rabbit holes I've been down, and it's definitely one of the least concerning cults that I've ever found. I think that if you are a really big fan of Michael Jackson and care a lot about his death, you might care about these people trivializing that case. However, as somebody who's not a fan of Michael, doesn't particularly like Michael, it doesn't bother me too much, and I think it was quite fun to go down this rabbit hole. There is a lot more to unpack here that I don't think is necessary to explain this situation, but is fun to look at from the outside anyways, so I suggest going to Jack Crooner's channel and checking out some of the other comments that were left by people. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go check out my mysterious comments video, because of that video, that's why this one exists. So if you enjoyed this video, go check that one out. See you later.